I'll do the business license.
Okay. Jalen, Minogheezhig, Sandman-Shelifoe, and William Geroux, business license application for B&M Construction.
Yep, so this is a business license application. It will be on res. They paid the fee. This is a new request, so that's why it is before you today. And they provided all the information that we needed.
Motion to approve. Support.
Question.
Motion Don, support Kim. RD.
Did we do anything about they have to have insurance?
No.
We just did that for alcohol, I think, so far.
Yeah, so I actually spoke to Chris and Geroux. I'm going to be working on a business license ordinance because as you see, we have a lot of business licenses that come through and it just screams in my head like, ah.
There's no ordinance.
What's going on here? There's no way to enforce it, no way to.
People ask questions about it and it's like, where is this at?
Right, there's nothing to look at, so I'm working on that, and then eventually what we'll do is we'll send it out to all of the individuals who have current business licenses.
So the risk is that we give a license to somebody to build homes and they're not a licensed contractor in the state of Michigan, but does the tribe by issuing a license, in a sense, consider them now a licensed contractor that people can trust?
That's what they're doing.
Right.
Take on a moral liability.
Right.
I mean, we're saying,
But
hey,
there's
this
no-
guy's good
right.
to go.
So it's-
We're letting him on the res
Well, it's
to,
that-
That's the risk of us issuing a license kind of willy-nilly.
Well, there's some people from, I'm hearing, that have gone off reservation with their license.
Well, they're at risk there individually, but you know,
Right.
but
Well, I
I'm
mean,
talking
it's-
about the risk of the council saying, are we giving them a stamp of approval?
Right.
And or should we make it clear that, that we're not necessarily, we're just allowing them to conduct business, but we don't approve of their
Because they
abilities or
don't
their.
have to come to us. They don't have to even request a
Right,
license.
right,
These
right.
guys have been working
But when we
same
do
with
issue a
everybody else.
license, what are we saying?
Right, well,
That's
it's
all.
that, it's hairdressers, it's mechanics, it's, this is basically us saying it is okay to go
I
here.
can I'm gonna open up a law office on the reservation.
And, you
No
know,
license, Joe.
And you guys can license me, right?
it might be better not to have a licensing scheme, but to just say, you're not going to build houses on our reservation. You know what I mean?
Well, they gotta get a building permit,
but
right?
it's
Yeah.
not just houses, it's food service, it's
Sure, I mean,
everything.
whatever it is, like if
Yeah.
somebody
Well,
has bad hair
It's a risk, we
products,
ask them to go
you're
to the
not gonna do
IHS
people's hair.
inspection.
Right. With this though, it would be helpful because then there are consequences to not renewing your license annually. There are people who have had business licenses for 5 years that haven't renewed it in 5 years but are still using that same business license to do business. So with this, it is after 1 year, we do not consider you to have a license anymore. You need to renew it, and that's that.
Well, the issue has usually been around when we license somebody to run a bar, that the liabilities that come with running a bar and issuing a liquor license. Then cigarettes used to be an issue, and then now marijuana could be an issue, you know, and then now constructing home lights where, you know, where people are at risk physically because if they don't build the roof load appropriately, et cetera. So it has to be focused on things that can cause, that are general welfare issues.
Right.
Well, I think we need to kind of state that our license does not warrant or even say that they have a builder's permit or they're permitted in that field. I mean, if we're licensing beauticians, are they beautician certified? Have they been to the classes and
And we don't
Or they-
require
or they
any
just
of
doing
that
hair.
But we
You
do
know,
follow the state
those-
building code.
Those are low
federal
risk.
building code?
Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah.
There's an army of bureaucrats that have a caretaking function in the world of licensing. Like, you know, whether it's hairdressers or builders or mechanics, you know, at the state level, they've got departments that manage those
Laura.
professions.
It's called
Yeah.
Laura.
And well, even within Lara, there's departments of like, we just do mechanics, we just do builders.
And
You
then,
know, so you
like,
bite off a
mechanics
lot
have to
when
have
you,
certifications.
when you develop
Consumer
a
finance.
licensing.
Yeah.
I think we should spell out what our licensing actually means, that we're just as a tribal entity.
and we definitely need
I
that
think that
ordinance.
it's important that we differentiate between, we ask the question, is the business located on the reservation? And sometimes it is and sometimes it's not. Once they go off of the reservation, you know, they're within the state of Michigan, they're working on the homes of people in Michigan, or they're working on the hair of people in Michigan. So they should have those, so taking the off-res just out of it. It has to be on the reservation.
Yeah.
That's the only way that we're gonna be able to properly rate.
That's probably the only way that we can have sovereign immunity as well and kind of distance ourselves from that.
They cannot take this license off of the reservation.
Well, it should just say, we're just licensing you to conduct business on reservation.
Right, the question of is the
And
business
it's just as
located
simple, something as simple as that.
And I mean, I wonder if we should
It doesn't
spell it
mean
out.
anything more than that.
Should we have levels to our licenses? Are you actually licensed by the state of Michigan, or if you're building a home?
Are you a licensed
Are you a
contractor?
contractor? You know, because when we say we're licensing them, it's kind of just a broad statement that, but it sounds like people are going off the res and saying, well, I'm licensed.
Well, then, that's where I say we're just licensed to conduct on the reservation
Right.
in compliance with the provisions of the KBIC building code, and the code requires, what does the code require?
Chris and I discussed that, and I'm looking more into what the code requires and working those regulations into what I'm working on.
Because the tribe does have a building permit process.
Yep.
so,
As a homeowner, I mean, I would look at, you know, what am I getting done? Am I looking for a handyman, or am I looking for a licensed contractor? You know, I can sit and scrape glue off the floor, but as far as resurfacing or putting a roof on, I'd kind of want somebody that knows what they're doing.
And then they say, I got a license from the tribe.
Yeah,
I'm licensed.
I'm licensed, yeah.
Right. And
Okay.
so that's
I'll
kind
put
of
a
what
question.
I'll be working on. But back to the business license.
Anybody want to make a motion?
You did.
We did Don and Kim.
Don and
Oh,
Kim.
Don and Kim, sorry. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Motion carries, but this is a good discussion we should have in the future.
Put it in a work session.
Yeah?
Put it in a list of priorities.
Did we